Jeremy, Christy and Anne's come to see you. Hello, Jeremy Cricket. What are you doing with Tolstoy?
Nearer. Nearer. Nearer still.
Sort of a game is that? Jeremy, give Anne that dagger at once.
Sacrificer. They must have been reading an old book.
Get off! Some new book, you mean? It's that wretched Zuma Smith again, cheeky little horror.
He's not as bad as all that.
Well, he may not have been when you were reading him, but he certainly is now. That silly woman who writes him seems to have gone clean off her head. Not in the flower bed, Laura.
My name's Lorna.
You know, she seems to be conducting some sinister sort of experiment to see just how far she can go with children's minds.
My name's Alphonsus.
And mine's Erminture.
You're Drusilla.
I'm Claude.
Fatty!
I'll kill you.
Oh, how?
I'll fry you off in the sun.
The story's usually that Zuma's travelling somewhere. Ships, submarines, rockets. He's just a healthy little bad boy.
Can I help you, sir?
Not yet, thanks. We're just browsing around.
When's Miss Orkney coming?
No, I just heard my colleague tell you. She'll be here in a few minutes.
Is Zuma with her?
No, I don't think so.
Well, the illustrations are good.
Oh, some people are wild about them.
Parents?
If you've got a child, I wouldn't advise Zuma Smith. Why? You should see some of the letters we've been getting. Now, do stop that, please.
No, but no.
That's what I'm going to get for birthday presents.
Birthday presents.
But don't you want presents?
Children should get them all the time.
Not just for birthdays.
Zuma says there's no such thing as birthdays.
Right.
Except the day you were born.
Yeah, you might as well work backwards and have dead days.
Well, what about the date?
No one knows when you're gonna die!
No!
Quite a weapon if he wants to undermine a country, isn't it?
Nation of bad seed.
Kate Orton's got access to millions of children.
When Zuma went to Roma, there was that man who ate his children on their birthdays. Yeah, Brutus.
Birthdays are a trick. A dirty parent's trick. Watch out for when they say it's birthday time. Yeah.
That's when they get you.
Oh, nasty little beast.
You heard that bit about birthdays?
Yes, Roma. All that birthday date was in the last book, wasn't it? It's as though she can't bear to see her child simply enjoying anything.
It was a little unusual.
Well, the new one's even worse. Zuma's even nastier about Christmas than he was about birthdays.
We've got to publish. It's the chief attraction on our Christmas list.
Yes, but this is just what they're waiting for, you know. The Mothers' Union, the A's, the League for Decent Reading. They're going to slaughter us.
She can revise.
Yes, but you know, you can never put a finger on what's wrong. The new ones are just sick.
She could be a different woman.
And those are her publishers. Darlings,
Kate.
Cyrus.
hello, Kate.
My dear.
Oh, nice to see you.
You know Morgan. And Nancy, my secretary, and Tom.
Pleasure.
Tom's already working on the new illustrations. Did you get the manuscript all right? Did you like it?
There are 1 or 2 points, Kate.
Oh?
But let's leave that for the moment.
Yes,
Shall
I
we
think
get
so.
started?
Fine.
I don't think much of the toys round here. I'd have sent you dozens from the factory if I'd known.
Well, this is a publishing event, Mr. Fay. A chance for Kate to say hello to her readers. Excuse me, please. Now, don't push me.
I see you know Miss Orkney, so I'll just say how delighted we are to have her here today.
Yeah.
And I know she's got lots to tell you about Zuma and his new adventures.
Thank you very much, children. But I'm not going to talk to you.
Jolly good.
I thought instead you'd like to hear from Zuma himself. Would you? I asked him if he'd like to come along. He said yes, he'd love to. Blinds down, please. This is a synopsis. Oh, well, a story about my latest adventure. I start going out in a spaceship with another child, but it gets too hot in the spaceship for 2 children, so I give him a parachute and chuck him out. Then it cools off a bit. Then Then I go into orbit and meet up with Father Christmas and go on with him. Very nice old gent. That's what I think at first, anyhow. Then I meet Mulligatawny. I don't really know what he looks like because he keeps changing his shape. But anyhow, we become friends, even though he is a bit bossy. Everyone says we shouldn't be friends. But they won't stop us, and they won't stop you meeting him either. Well, so long now. I'll be seeing you.
Now, what is that?
What's your name?
Frank. Is Mulligatawny tough?
Well, he's funny, and I suppose he's quite tough, yes.
Mary, tougher than Zuma? That's impossible.
I'm not quite sure. You'll find out when you read the next book.
You'd better make it a good one.
Oh? Had I?
Yes, you had.
Boy.
You can do anything with a child's mind. He uses an imagination. It's like those Victorian improving stories or propaganda stories.
I'll get some advice on this.
I love sales figures.
Look, Kate, perhaps we should go off somewhere for a quiet lunch to discuss it.
It could be anything but a quiet lunch if you keep on about drastic revisions.
I think we'd better drop it for the moment.
I think we'd better drop it completely.
Charles' concept of space, it's different from ours, Mr. Harriet. It needs exercising.
Like his concept of social behaviour?
Well, that needs maturing, not exercising.
I'm taking a particular interest in children's books at the moment.
Are you doing a thesis?
Just a survey.
You got me backing for it.
Well, I shouldn't think you have much trouble getting backing for your ventures, do you? You're just about the best-known child psychologist we have.
I can always raise the money for field study, but keeping this school going, it's a hell of a job. Everybody thinks in terms of labels. Problem children, backward children, free expression schools, and so on. When I say there isn't a label for this place, but there is a chance that a child will finish up as brilliant as he starts, I get some very old-fashioned looks. Anyway, children's books now. What about them?
What are the chances of children's books seriously affecting their behaviour patterns?
In what context?
Well, in a cartoon strip, say, or a sort of character that appears in several books. Could continuous contact with an amoral hero affect the child's mentality?
Like Winnie the Pooh?
Hardly.
Are you by any chance thinking of Kate Orkney's little Zuma Smith?
Oh, I have read some of those.
Oh, it's quite harmless. You can forget them. Kate Stuffer, I know quite well. You know, she's got a house and toy factory next door to
Yes,
this
I
school.
have heard. I hope to interview her later.
Well, Kate Stuffer means often releases aggressive tendencies that an inhibited child is keeping under control. And Zuma's example makes him query the control, so he drops it, runs about shouting nasty remarks. But, I mean, that's gone on ever since the first villain appeared in literature.
But isn't it possible for a children's book to have a more subliminal effect at the same time, reach deep into a child's mentality and really damage him?
Well, there is a theory that certain works of art can tap the race memory that's stored in a child or an adult's mind. Now, that would certainly release a frightening force. Thousands of years, sacrifice, ritual murders, all the dark appeasements we used to offer to our obscene pagan gods. Well, some of the Nazi techniques, drums, mass hysteria, certain evocative tricks of lighting, that seemed to do the trick. I don't see how you manage it with a children's book, though. I mean, you'd have to be a genius, wouldn't you, or use one. Excuse me.
They are only rough sketches. They may be completely different in the end if the text is changed.
I wish they'd make up their minds.
You read the manuscript?
My job's getting on with toys. I never read a book. She bores me.
As a writer.
You draw pictures, laddie, not conclusions.
The publishers have been having another go at her. Young Mr. Homer?
Nothing to do with me.
You know, Morgan, I simply can't believe that you and Kate never discuss plots.
We don't. As far as I'm concerned, her next toy's got next book's got Zuma Smith in it, so it'll sell. All I'm interested in are the possibilities for promotion, and I get by.
You bet.
But I make more out of toys and dolls than she does out of books.
Still need the books. Perhaps you don't need Kate so much as it seems.
What's that supposed to mean?
So you've taken on extra staff.
We're busy. And you, keep
You
your
have
hands to
the
yourself.
artist's really slender wrists, haven't you? Very slender. Do you paint? I mean, apart from this rubbish.
How did he hear at the slate?
And now it's all apple cheeks with pillar box red. I'm not much better myself.
Zuma's always been one of my favorites.
He's an even bigger favorite with today's children. Anyway, I wish you'd make it clear exactly what you want me to change.
Well, okay, perhaps when we've been through the manuscript, we might...
Would you like to dictate some more letters, or shall I get on with these?
Yes, do, Nancy. Oh, and you'd better bring us a drink. I think Homer's going to need one even more than I will. Why have you never married, Homer?
Oh, well, I've not met anyone I like yet.
Neither have I.
Never.
Are you making side digs? I've never met anyone I can trust.
Oh, dear.
Oh, well, perhaps I should have stuck to younger men. So your father sent you down here to do the dirty work, hmm? You're to get round me, have you? And then I'll just tear up the new story and rewrite...
It's beautifully written, as usual, Kate. It's right.
Yes, I think I'm beginning to get the swing of it. It's terrifying to dry up.
Well, after 31 Zuma Smith stories, it's not surprising you needed a rest.
33. Anyway, I'm glad you like the new Zuma.
Oh, well, I didn't say I liked it.
Oh. That was careless of you. I shall get angry, and then I'll be off to a new publisher before you can say Benton and Benton.
No, we wouldn't want that.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh. What's that?
It's all right, thank you, dear.
Ah.
Homer, this is Constance, a young neighbour of mine. Constance, Mr. Benton.
Hello.
Constance keeps me on the bright side, literally. She knows how I adore the sun. Shouldn't you be at school, dear? Teacher's got mumps.
Ah.
Poor man.
You could do me a favour, Constance. Now, Mr. Benton here wants me to rewrite the latest Zuma. What would you do? You read it.
I think it's a little consolate. I'd throw it all away and start again.
Actually, she's a charming child. She just hates Zuma Smith.
Yes, she does.
Refreshing, isn't it?
Morgan Fay is Kate's ex-boyfriend.
Tom Constable seems to think he's up to something.
Could he be feeding the material?
Tom's more likely to be doing that himself. Came to the factory with some gruesome pictures. I hope he never corners me.
I'll defend you from now on. Ah, I better get up to the house. There's one interesting thing about Kate, though.
What's that?
Well, everything suggests these people are being brainwashed from outer space, and Kate's books have an obsession with cosmic influences, especially the sun.
That's your letter of introduction.
That is my invitation to stay.
What is the tone of it?
Are you rejecting me?
Oh, there's something horrid about those.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
No, they're really evil every
We've
time
said
I read
nothing
them.
definite.
What is so you really sort of hate children?
You know, Homer, I can remember when you were a boy and I read you each new book in manuscript. You were my best and only critic. I've never been more disappointed in anyone in all my life.
Well, you're disappointing me, Kate. I can't really believe you've actually written the damn things.
So I was wondering what other kind of institutes before coming here. Aren't you staying to lunch, Mr. Benson?
No, I think not.
Mr. Herriot, this is Mr. Homer Benson, the publisher.
I've heard of you.
Mr. Herriot's a sociologist. He's doing a treatise on Zuma Smith.
Oh, well, that should be interesting.
Oh, yes, Mr. Herriot.
Yes, how do you do, Miss Orphy? It's very kind of you to cooperate like this.
After all, you couldn't have come at a more propitious moment. I need admirers.
He seemed agitated.
Well, I'm very flattered you've come to study me, Mr. Herriot. Though I must say I do feel an unlikely subject.
A delightful one.
What exactly do you wish to investigate?
The sources of your inspiration.
Oh, I wish I knew what they were.
Your work has matured lately.
What a strange word to use about children's books.
Well, I want to know how you work, where your ideas come from, what it is that makes you one of the most successful storytellers for children of our time.
Has Nancy shown you to your room yet?
Not yet.
You can have the Greenway room. No, that's a bit fussy. The Janeway room.
Janeway? Well, Greenway I know, but Janeway.
Don't you know his token for children? No? There's a copy of it in the library. A token for children being an exact account of the conversion, holy and exemplary lives and joyful deaths of several young children. Morbid, but moral. Janeway believed that children were brands of hell, and I dare say he was right.
I'd say these are pretty hellish.
Oh, I'm interested in anything that stirs a child's imagination. I find ancient mythology useful.
Including the sun gods.
Now, we don't know that the sun was treated as a god at Stonehenge. I think they were more interested in its mathematical precision than its possibilities as a father figure.
The druids.
Oh, not those dreary druids. No, the earlier people who built Stonehenge. Those brilliant astronomers. who knew the exact position of every star at every hour of the night and tried to pass their knowledge down to us in this. If only we could read it.
It was a theory they went in for human sacrifice.
They did, yeah. The human beings seemed paltry to them with their knowledge of the universe. Ritual death expressed their disrespect for their own species.
Well, it's very nice and humble of them. Not quite the material you feed to children.
Of course not. No, Tom and I get ideas for settings from these old places. Zuma will go to somewhere very like this on his next journey. I'll try it out in a puppet show before I finalize it in the book on the children's experimental school next door. I often do that, particularly when I'm introducing a new character.
Like Malagatoni.
Yes, how did you know?
Your secretary mentioned the name.
I'll have those damn fool publishers down, and they can see the children's faces.
Fanny, well, sure you can still talk to her.
Yes, well, Kate and I talk much less than we used to. Get the hair right, will you?
Now listen, Faye, if this book is published,
That's very good.
if all schools and libraries ban the book, if no
That's
decent
it.
bookshop will handle the book again, what do you think will happen to your production here? You'll be absolutely ruined.
Do you know, old chap, I couldn't think of one single thing that would worry me less.
Well, maybe it's me that's going mad. Perhaps that's it.
All these notes or manuscripts of Kate's. What's going on?
Never you mind.
It's the man who's come to stay, isn't it? The one who's up in Tom's studio now.
Yes, he's doing a survey on children's books.
What sort of literary detective?
Sort of.
He's got a spy in the toy factory. I saw him with the new girl in the garden. They weren't doing anything there. Can I have a biscuit? Hello, Mr. Harriet.
Hello, Constance. Oh, excuse me.
And as if that wasn't enough, he looked up. Oh, really, Constance.
What's that one about?
Zuma Smith and his friend Mulligatawny, remember?
Constance.
What are you doing? Now, do stop that. Oh, no, come along. Now, leave her alone, really. Come on, dear, we'll go for a walk.
Hello. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
It's Anne Gleason.
Oh, Mr. Harriet, this is Miss Gleason.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do?
I'm sorry to bring you in here. Actually, Miss Orkney's in the summer house.
Oh,
Let me help you.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Will you meet in a lunch break?
No one buzzes off here now. There's a paint store. It should be safe enough. 12:30.
Sexy little Gleason.
You know her?
Oh, yeah, she's a bomb.
So does he.
Hmm?
Hmm.
What are you staring at?
What do you think, the sun?
Well, that's daft, isn't it? It'll hurt your eyes.
That's what's good for you.
Tough as any boy, are you?
Ugh,
Oh, you little
You must not go near the summer house. So sorry, Mr. Bay, I do hope she's not being a nuisance. No, it's all right. She's not a nuisance. I should cut down on a meat ration, though, if I were you. You can use Miss Orkney's garden, but not near where she works. Now, come along. And that goes for you, too, Constance. Now, come along.
It's all right, Mr. Edmonds. I don't mind,
Hold
really.
on, it's the least. They must let you work. There'll be no more stories. Now, come along, all of you.
Thank you. What would I do without your help, Morgan, dear?
You'd get by. But not so well.
I'm sure Morgan Fay does more than make these clay figures.
Tom made any more passes?
Yes, me and two other girls.
and I heard him explaining that one of them had cool, understanding eyes.
How'd he get on with it?
Quite well. He's so unashamed about it. You know, he's about the only type that Nancy Long might fall for.
Oh, no, she's much too cool for him, surely.
You're not smoking.
Of course I'm not smoking.
Well, something has burned a hole, look.
Huh? One of the lenses has been taken out to focus the rays of the sun.
Start a fire.
Positioned to catch the sun at an exact time.
While we were here.
What have you been doing with that? Playing Peeping Tom? It's amazing what you can realize with a bit of fabric and thread and stuffing and some piecework, sometimes 1,000%.
How much?
Morgan thinks it's immoral to make less.
Do kids like them?
Oh, yes, they sell along with all of other rubbish like this.
Old-fashioned snakes and ladders.
Indeed, has played the world over. But Morgan has to dream up a Zoomer version and then bully Kate into writing it in.
Does he supply much of the material?
I supply the material.
There's a paint store. That should be safe enough. 12:30.
Have you been using this, Mr. Harriet?
No. Oh, yes, why?
I was just going to wipe it unless there's something you wanted.
Oh, no, no, no.
Yes, Morgan used to be full of sales gimmicks. He once sent a Zoomer doll to every Bernardo child, and he even tried to get them into the royal children.
Any luck?
No. He's given up now, really. Doesn't give much of a damn about the business. He's a layabout. A layabout!
I thought you despised all this.
Oh, I don't think that with something finer and more important to do, artists should bother themselves with rubbish like this. Oh, no. But then that hardly justifies Morgan, does it?
A moment ago,
Mm-hmm.
you said you supplied her material.
Of course, it's not the writing that matters to kids, it's the visuals, and the artist gets them across.
I thought you were the fourth artist to draw Zuma.
Yeah. But when did Zuma have the influence he has now?
For a sociologist on a special study, you know surprisingly little about children's books.
The secretary, Miss Long. You seem very erudite on the subject.
I ought to be. I have a degree in child psychology.
Isn't that rather wasted on a secretary's job?
Thank you.
Oh, please.
When I first came here, Kate was struggling to get started again. I like to think I've been of some help.
I'm sure you have.
In some ways. She's fiercely independent, you may have noticed.
I've got a few scars already. So now you've got her back to where she was before.
Oh, no, the stuff she writes now is much more interesting.
More interesting.
Yes. She used to write the usual things for children, buns, sweeties, Mr. Policeman. But now she goes into it much more deeply. She takes her backgrounds and situations from the classics and reinterprets them for children. Brilliantly, I think.
Who was her model for Mulligatawny?
Oh, I wish I knew. I don't know where he comes from. Perhaps he's a larrikin.
A larrikin?
Projection.
Oh, yes. Projection.
You know, a larrikin or a projection is a split-off of the personality. And in the child, it's an unacceptable part, so he drives it underground. But it comes out again in the form of a larrikin. Someone that the child sees and nobody else does.
I had a character like that when I was a boy. Used to sit on the bottom of my bed. Not ideal children's reading.
You don't think so?
Oh, come off it. You admit it yourself.
If I've admitted anything, it's that I think Kate's work is brilliantly effective. But I hope nothing happens to interfere with it.
We'll all be sick of his face before long.
You might be Constance, but I'm sure he'll be a favourite with thousands of children.
Oh, to think once I wouldn't go to sleep without Zuma.
What sort of books do you read?
TV comics mostly.
Well, what do you think?
What do you think, Constance?
He's a bit of a lump. Maybe he'll look better with makeup on.
How soon can you have the gloves ready?
In a few hours, I should think.
Ah, good. I'd like both Zuma and Mulligatawny to have a conference tonight about their script for the puppet show.
I spent a week on that. You still haven't said what you think.
He doesn't quite fit the character, but he'll do.
Do you write the puppet yourself, Miss Hawkins?
After fashion, yes. But it's the words, the thoughts that count.
I'll have those gloves sent over as soon as they're ready.
Certainly didn't seem too sure about Mulligatawny.
Well, at least she didn't say he was too horrific. And that's what matters.
Did you expect it to?
Mr. Fay?
Mr. Harriet.
Yes, Kate said I could look over your toy shop. Ah, this is Mulligatawny.
Yes, I've taken a fancy to...
You ought to do very well out of him.
Yes, if he ever gets on the market. Come in the office.
Yeah.
We have a drink?
Yes.
Whiskey?
Yes, please.
What do you take with it, soda?
Just a dash.
Good. We've tried everything at one time or another. That was the first.
Ordinary Master Smith.
Ordinary?
Well, not quite so extraordinary as Zuma Smith.
What he paid for this building. Those are things for younger children. Blocks, colouring books.
That's not Zuma Smith.
No, I keep that to remind me there was a time when children coloured books for a living. Whole families were organised in a sort of assembly line, one colour per child. If they worked really hard, they might make 4p a day.
Hardly play.
Well, I doubt if it gave my taste for reading. But there's my favourites. I get her to put a game in every book. A different one, so we can market a special version. That's the current one.
Time Machine.
There you are.
Well, Kate, have you reconsidered?
I want you to reconsider when you've seen the show.
We don't print puppets, Kate.
Oh, Mr. Harriet. You're a sly devil, aren't you? You know, think I asked you if you were interested in Zuma
Well, I
Smith.
wanted to take you up one of the points you made in that chat.
Now, look, I don't think we'll be able to start with Miss Orkney until we settle down.
You were saying that if the race memory of children could be brought to the surface of their minds, and it became the dominant factor, the children might become dangerous.
There's no hanky. Oh, there you are.
Do you think it could be done by confronting a child with a picture story, with scenes from old cultures, dead religions, mythology?
Who would want to? No, trying up. Now, come along, take the rope off quickly now. And that's right. Now, off you go and sit down in your place.
Could it work?
Oh, well, it's a wild theory. I simply can't answer. Not with anyone else. Yeah, minds aren't bicycles, shifter.
Well, is everyone here then? Take a seat, Mr. Harriet. Take a seat.
Right, now let's settle down. Put that piece of earth down. That's better. Now, if you all spread out, you give yourselves plenty of room to see. That's better. Patricia, Angela, now come along. That's better. That's better. Take that rope off, if you can. Okay.
Nothing to happen.
Let's get on with it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our unforgettable, unforgivable version of... What is it we're playing, Mulligatawny?
Zuma meets the sun.
Isn't it the one where I meet Father Christmas?
He comes in later.
I'm going out. Take care of my baby.
I'm going out. Take care of baby. Oh, you're awkward.
Backward, too.
He sings so sweetly, I can't stand singing. Goodbye.
No sense of humor, that's your trouble. What's wrong with you? Stomachache? Oh, you nasty child. Got to stop that noise. Gets on my nerves. Foul-mouthed child, take that, and that, and that. Ah, sweet silence. Let's do
He's a nasty old man.
Not yet.
He's an old so-and-so.
All right, go on, tell them then.
He joins up with us and some boys and girls, and we go on a trip, see? That's what's in store in the next book, see?
What happens?
We're off into outer space, and we think Father Christmas is taking us to his toy factory. But he isn't.
Why not?
'Cause he leaves us in orbit to melt with the heat. And we look up at the sun 'cause we're burning to a cinder. And what do we see?
What?
A man in the sun.
Don't be daft. There's a man in the moon, but there's no...
Oh, yes, there is. And the man in the sun is, guess who? Father...
Never, never, never!
It'll be up in a minute. You'll see.
Where's the best place to see from?
Lie here.
Why?
You'll get suntan, too.
On here?
Yes. Come on. Ever been tanned before?
No.
I hope you'll like it.
Hey, what's this?
I'm going to do the sun a favor. Show him some respect, see?
But what are you going to do?
When the shadow reaches you.
Let me off!
Too late.
You're supposed to be my friend.
Lie still, so the shadow can reach you. Nearer, nearer.
Please, Mulligatawny!
Goodbye, Zuma.
I lost control of myself. I simply lost control. When Mulligatawny spoke, it wasn't me.
It was your voice.
It wasn't me.
You mean you were taken over?
Yes. Well, that's just what it was like. Oh, please turn the summer house, the sun... It's better, thank you. Well, what's your explanation? Am I going mad?
Most of your characters are drawn from historical models, aren't they?
Yes, loosely.
Except these two.
Oh. Well, I can tell you where Zuma comes from. She's the son I never had.
And Mulligatawny?
Well, I don't know.
I think someone is influencing you in a way you don't understand. Just as your books are influencing children in a way they don't understand. You must have some idea who it is. Well?
You?
Eva, that's right. Forget the 20 gross ordered. There'll be no more Zuma Smiths. Bless you.
We're cancelling production on Zuma Smith.
And Mulligatawny. Kate's finished anyhow. She's lost control of herself and everything else. Now it's my turn.
But you're putting yourself out of business, surely.
Get back on the bench. Tom.
What? What do you mean stop work on this? Since when have you been giving the orders?
Since now. But don't panic. I'll find you work. In one or two other things. In the same line.
Oh, yeah.
So sorry, but I am very tired.
Yes.
How is she?
I don't know.
She isn't well, is she?
No.
We collected for this. All right if I hop in to see her, I suppose.
All right for you.
matter if it's not Zuma? Take his word.
Come on, go on fiddling with the same idiot nonsense, using about a quarter of the mind God gave me and about a tenth of the talent.
Oh, Tom.
I'm sick of kittywinks. They're a bore and a chore, and to hell with the money.
You don't mean that.
And the fuss.
Fuss? What are you going to do?
Do you know, I have never stayed for so long in one place in my life. Oh, I want boats and trains and a bit of sky.
We do have a garden.
Rome, Paris, Barcelona, perhaps. I don't know. Not anywhere, just moving and just traveling and painting. Painting my own stuff in my own time.
You better buy a light easel with a harness.
What?
Then you can paint and travel at the same time.
Oh, Nancy, forgive me. Poor little darling, you've been so good and so tolerant. I'll always remember you, my love. Of course I'd say come with me, but I've never lied to you, now have I? In all these things, there has to be an end. I belong to something different from my emotions. I belong to my talents.
You are going.
I must. Now. All my talents may not be much, but at least...
They aren't. And you're going to take Morgan's job. Because you're not fit for anything else. And the only satisfaction that you've really had from your work was the power that Zuma gave you over the children.
Vicious?
Oh, shut up. I know you'll never forgive me for knowing, but you were really going this time. And Morgan wouldn't offer the job twice.
Apparently I haven't got any talent, Harriet. I've got nothing left for my old age.
Except me.
You aren't going to let them win. Those publishers will be back. You are going to go on with Mulligatawny.
Must be Morgan or Kate.
It's not Tom or Nancy. There's nothing inhuman there.
It's no good, Constance. I can't write anymore. I'll keep you going like I always do. Yes, but she's only a child. Don't worry.
With a dangerous mind.
Nothing is going to stop the stories.
Or no mind at all.
Push off, Constance. There's going to be some grown-up talk round here.
Listen to the He-Man.
Push off. Wipe your nose. It's dripping.
Oh, Morgan, I'll never write again.
Good.
I don't know what else I could... You don't believe me.
Yes, I do. I believe you're never going to write again. I'm highly delighted.
It will be the end of the factory as well, you know. And the house will have to go too, of course.
Yes. All the jewels, clothes, they'll all have to go too, won't they? Oh, dear.
You smug bastard, what is it?
I've been a good office boy, Kathy.
Please don't call me Kathy.
For instance, I saw this crack-up coming. Kathy.
I never imagined you could be cruel.
Miles off. But I didn't sit idle. No. I re-geared. The factory, all the business. I've got enough contacts and contracts to switch production in the factory from Zuma Smith in one weekend. Well, a week, anyway. And you all wonder why I was taking on more staff.
Morgan?
You give me 6 months, I'll have that place paying as much more than it did with your books.
I don't know what to say.
We're going to be rich.
We?
Us.
Are you, proposing?
Here, yeah, that's right.
Yes?
Good. On your feet.
What?
We're going back to the house. I'm going to put my feet up, and you're going to pour a large whiskey for your breadwinner. Well, come on. What's for dinner?
I don't know.
You don't know? You run a house and you don't know what's for dinner. I suppose you get the cook to choose everything, do you? Well, go on, then.
You aren't very clever, are you?
It depends.
On what?
What I'm required to be clever about.
It's a pity you found out where Kate is getting her story.
What stories?
I'm going to have you put away.
Oh? How are you going to have me put away?
For assaulting me.
A child.
I should think you've had quite a few years.
You shouldn't have done that.
No, this has gone quite far enough.
Years and years. And we'll do more stories, Kate and I. Mr. Harriet.
Oh, get away!
You brute!
Get away!
Help! Mr. Edmonds! Mr. Edmonds! This man's chasing me! He's just hurt me! Please help me, Mr. Edmonds!
Rubbish. I'm ashamed of you, Constance. You go back to school and you wait in my office.
Now, before she goes anywhere, Edmonds, I must talk to you about her. This is urgent.
Constance, you go and wait in the summer house. Don't speak to anyone. I'm so sorry, Mr. Harriet. This stupid girl, she must have learnt this vicious trick from a newspaper.
No, it's far more serious. I think she's being brainwashed.
By children's books?
Look, there are a number of people out to destroy our society.
What?
These people have been got at by signals.
Oh, Mr. Harriet, have you ever been treated for mental illness?
They have ultra-sensitive hearing. That's how they were brainwashed, and Constance must have been.
Yes, well, you'll have to excuse me, Mr. Harriet. I think she may have had some very good reason for yelling as she did just now. She's one of my pupils. I must go.
You said that...
Where he's going? Well, to get help, I should think. Very silly, Constance.
I'm sorry.
We'll get rid of that funny little man. And that woman with him. All we need is a few words with Kate Orkney.
I can't make her do things anymore.
Rubbish. You can make anyone do anything. You will go and find Miss Orkney. Bring her back here and get her to start work again. You will tell her that you overheard Mr. Harriet and Miss Gleason talking about her. They were laughing at her ugliness. They said she was an old woman. Come to the pantry on the lower floor at 7 o'clock and I shall give you more instructions. Remember, Constance, every time you see the sun or feel its warmth, every time the thought of the sun enters your head, you will try harder and with greater urgency to complete your task. Now, when I say go, you will forget why it is that you have to do these things. Now, go. Constance, turn the summer house into the light, will you?
All right.
You know how I adore the sun.
Ordered a car for you, Mr. Harriet. Perhaps Miss Gleason would like to take it too.
Constance, you ought to be back at school.
May I speak to Kate, Miss Long?
No, better not now, dear.
Where is she?
She's talking to Mr. Kay.
She's in her study.
Yes, but they're busy.
I must get up there.
They're busy. Come back later.
I must!
She seems to be in some sort of pain.
What do you want to say to Kate, Constance? I can't tell you. Why is it so important? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Where have you been since we were outside the factory?
I came straight here, I think.
She's under hypnosis.
You were in the summer house, Constance. In the summer house. What did he say to you?
Who?
Edmonds.
He's dead.
What caused the explosion?
Kate's portable tea stove. She had a whole box of refilled gas bombs. Edmonds must have been standing over it.
No wonder he laughed at the idea of children's minds being attacked. He was only the attacker.
Through Constance.
True, I'm terrified. These people will stop at nothing.
Unless we can stop them first.